then in that unlit room, there was something staring at me. Something that is not human staring at me.
And we are not live. You see the studio like different, right? Like, where are we? We are at Renegade Radio Malaysia studio.
Hello.
It's like, I mean, if you're listening to audio, too bad you can't see it. But you know, you should be watching the YouTube version. So I'm in Kuala Lumpur to, meet some friends. And today we have a very, very special guest. One guest that you may have seen on our vlog. He is Kel.
Hello everybody. I'm Kelvin.
Yeah, you want to introduce yourself?
Fine. Let me redo the introduction, right? Hello everybody. My name is Kelvin Tay. I am the founder of Renegade Radio, home to Malaysian independent podcasts. I mean, you can find me on like Epic Arcade podcast sessions and so many other podcasts actually.
Yeah. I met Kel last year at event that they hosted and invited us to.
We met earlier than that. In Singapore.
Oh right, sorry, Escape. Yeah, we met in Escape. Was that another year before? Right.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That was 2022.
It is 2022.
It was for the Escape podcast thing, right?
Yes, the one that Raven did, the Asia Podcast Festival.
Yes. And then 2023, they kindly invited us out to share about HANTU, where Wayne and I went. You can see the vlog down below. So yeah, today I'm in their studio, very, very cozy. It feels different when you're in the space.
That's the idea that I like to go for. It's definitely cozy because it's a disarming technique for guests to come in.
Now I'm going to use it against you.
Let's go.
I'm going to use it against you for ghost stories.
It's rare for me to be in the guest spot.
Nice.
Yeah, it's rare for me to be in the guest spot.
Yeah. So, okay. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and I guess about your company. Because you got so many podcasts, I can't just tell you to talk about podcasts. Tell us about you and your company.
So basically, Renegade Radio is Malaysia's first independent podcasting network. Right? Under the network itself, we house our own in-house shows, our own in-house podcasts, and also we adopt podcasters in Malaysia to join the network itself. So some in-house shows that I'm very proud to announce is Two Book Nerds Talking. We have Epic Arcade. We have podcast sessions. We have Awakened Souls. We have a lot of shows now.
You put the the counter for podcasting.
We have a lot of shows, and then for our external shows, another one is Mama's Here, for example. It's a show about motherhood.
The one that you just launched recently, right?
We launched it earlier this year, but we just launched one as of this recording called Awakened Souls. It's coming out tomorrow. So the social media is slowly churning out today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the network side of the business.
Nice.
And then on the back end, we have a production agency, Creative. That's where we do a lot of creative work for our international clients, specializing in podcasting. So what I like to call ideas to earbuds. The idea that is you, Kyle, have an idea, you don't know how to create a podcast, that's where we come in. We guide your hand to the 5 P's of podcasting that we talked about just now.
Yeah, so I was just on Kel's show just now, sharing a little bit about myself and how I built HANTU. And the process of doing Ghost Map. So if you would like to listen to that, check it out if it's out. But going back to your shows, right? I know you have a lot of shows. We don't have that much shows, but you definitely have one favorite. Can you share your favorite show?
it's a bit biased when I say my favorite show, right? Because it's a show that I host with my business partner and also my best friend. It's called Epic Arcade. All right, Epic Arcade is basically initially it's a video game podcast, but now it has evolved. We are 100 and as of last week's episode, we are 118 episodes already.
Wow.
Right, it has been around for a while. It's a show that we sit down, talk about video games, talk about what we've been doing, and very recently talk about Afiq as a new dad. Yeah, so it's his journey as a gamer and a dad and how he juggles it together.
Congrats, Afiq.
Yeah, congrats, Fig.
Yeah.
Right. So Epic Arcade, 118 episodes.
Impressive.
Okay, that's the that's the front end of the podcast, right? But the secret of the podcast that I rarely share is that Epic Arcade has always been an R&D podcast. Because like you, I'm from a finance background, you're from an accounting background, right? I don't know anything about production, right? So I created Epic Arcade very, very, in my early days, it used to be called Ready Player One.
Oh, nice.
But because of some legal issue, we had to change the name. So we changed it to Epic Arcade, right? I learned audio editing there.
Nice.
I learned video editing there. I learned my entire journey in podcasting is thanks to Epic Arcade, because it has provided me a platform where it's casual enough that I can mess around. I can test a lot of things. I can test new cameras. I can test new mics, new setups, new backdrop, new lights. That's where I do all my tests.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's Epic Arcade. And that's also why it's my favorite, because it's so casual. We swear, we talk a lot of nonsense, we do game reviews. It gives us a chance to be like, hey, Kel, why are you playing games? Hey, I'm not playing games, I'm doing work. Huh? Okay, yeah, that's the idea.
No, I love it. That's the premise for Dead Air. We also wanted a platform to interact with the listeners and also talk about random things that Wayne and I talk about as business partners, about horror, specifically horror, and also have the chance to, go to other creators. Hey, you want to come on my show or not? Let's talk and basically have an honest conversation.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure as a podcaster, you have faced this basically talking to someone like maybe Afiq, and you're like talk. Hey, this should be a podcast lah.
Yeah,
right.
I mean that's that's the principles of I would say 99% of the podcasts out there, because you just go to a mama or you go to a restaurant with some close friends, and then you talk about content that is so ridiculous and so interesting at the same time. It's like, hey bro, we should start a podcast lah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then they do it for 12 episodes, they fade away, then no more idea lah.
Yeah. Speaking of fading away, you shared that before your podcast journey, you actually dabble into horror. Can you share a little bit more about that? So
that was our very, very, very first podcast that we created, right? It's a podcast called the Seram Podcast, right? It's basically translated to the scary podcast, right? We did about 3 episodes of that. 1 episode is still available somewhere on SoundCloud, right? You can maybe find it down below. I don't know. It's still up there. I left it up there. I did not privatize it because I always want to go back sometimes to just listen to it and see how far we have actually came. Nice. One of the reasons why we stopped doing that, it was created by myself and another friend of mine called Jeff. Right? We started that, took up some stories from our Malaysia's Reddit. It was a story about this kid growing up, and this kid grew up and there was a Pontianak in his house, and it was quite a fascinating story. We took it up, we narrate the whole thing, included sound effects, background music. It's to the point that you can feel goosebumps when you're listening to the story. Why we stopped doing it is because we realized we are not writers. And back then we really did not have the budget to hire writers to come up with original stories, and we actually had the idea to find local authors that writes Malaysian ghost stories. But then it comes to, the publishing fees comes into play, right? The copyright to the story comes into play. So at the end, we just hit so much roadblocks that we decided that it's not a viable process, right?
I'm sure most of you are here for the horror. What is that one supernatural experience that you will never ever forget?
Oh, fantastic. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that now I'm in the guest seat. I'm actually feeling vulnerable, right? But this happened to me. It's a true story that I experienced about 2-3 years ago. So the story is the last time we went, which was 2-3 years ago. It was me, my brother, and a couple of friends. Well, we do the same thing, We chill, we eat, we watch some films, and then midnight we go to the beach. Then we chill. We chill at the beach, right? It was quiet, it was dark, and then you are literally under the stars. So we were under the stars. Literally under the stars, because when it's clear you can really see the stars, right? Once we're done with that, we're like, hey, tired already lah, let's go back lah, right? And then it was past midnight, so we're talking about 2-3 in the morning.
Whoa.
Okay, go back, everyone chill for a while, you know, those who wants to eat. And then most of the time we were just there drinking lah, because when you're at the balcony, you can see the entire beach, right? But then it's nighttime, there was no light. So all you can see is just pitch black. So just talking with a couple of friends, and then we were at the balcony, there was like 6 of us, and I was like, yeah lah, I think I need to take a piss. So I went to the toilet lah. Okay, so the house it's about 1,000 square foot condo, right? You open the main door and then you can see the balcony straight already. And once you open the main door, on your right there is a room and a toilet. On your left it's another room. Then you go straight a bit, then on the right is the master bedroom. Then once you're in the living room, that's basically the entire space. So we were at the balcony. I was like, okay, I need to take a piss. I walked all the way to the bathroom. There was only one public bathroom now, like the living room bathroom. As I am walking, oh man, I got goosebumps now. As I am walking to the bathroom, it was at night already, so some lights was off lah. So there's one unoccupied room next to the toilet. So the unoccupied room is here, the toilet is here, the door to it. So you have to walk from the living room into the toilet. This door was open, was dark. Walk. I feel like something is staring at me. You know the feeling when someone is looking at you? Yeah, I had that feeling, you know. Then in that unlit room, and on the bed there was something staring at me. Something that is not human staring at me. I still remember the face, you know. So yeah, I got goosebumps. I still remember the face, you know. It's a very old uncle face that is a bit distorted.
But the full body, like you can see the full body.
I only saw the face. You walk past it, or you walk past the room? I was walking towards the toilet. As I turned the corner, I got the feeling someone staring at me. Then in my peripherals, I looked a bit. It was there lah, just staring at me, right? And then I double back. I was like, I closed my eyes. I double back. I went to my friends. It's like, fuck guys, I think I saw something. And then I was panicking. They can actually see me shaking, and I was pale. And they're like, what? Then what? One of my friends knew exactly what I was talking about. Then he's like, everyone just shut up. Let's just go into the room. Okay? So we went to the master bedroom, all 6 of us. When we were in the room, we were all just chilling like, it's like, oh shit, Kel saw something, you know. And the rule of thumb is when you see or smell something, you just keep quiet. You don't talk about it, right? You don't acknowledge it. But you basically did, right? But I did lah. But I was trying to warn my friends lah, right? So that was mistake number 1. Yeah. So we were all in the master bedroom already. The feeling of the room is very tense, like, you know, everyone knows, you know, but some people don't care. Some people thought, just bullshitting. While we were in the room, we realized something. One of our friends went to sleep early. He was in the toilet door is on the right. He was in the left room. He was sleeping already. Oh. And then we couldn't warn him because he was sleeping already. Right? We couldn't send a text to him. It's like, hey bro, we are all in the master bedroom because da. Then we were just chilling, and then some people fell asleep. As the night passed, this was about like 3:30, 4 o'clock already. We started hearing shuffling in the living room. Like things moved around, furnitures moved around. It's that sound. Oh my God. Right? And then we can hear some glasses moving around also, because we were drinking, so there was bottles around, right? So I couldn't jot it down. Was it, you know, something supernatural, or is it just the wind? Because the door was still open, right? And it's a beach, so it's windy. But then a wind can't really push an entire chair from like point A to point B, because it was a long sound, you know. Everyone was freaking out. Like, it gets worse and worse, you know. Everyone was just freaking out. Suddenly, my friend who was sleeping in another room came into our room, you know. And here's the weird thing. He's always that cheeky, cheery friend, you know, the stupid one, like to make light of everything one. Yeah. He came to the room, he did not say anything, you know. He was just like shuffling his feet, you know, coming to the room. It's like a bloody horror film. Like, it really feels like a horror film. And he came, he sat down on the bed, and he said nothing at all. He just sat on the bed only. Like he just walked, sat on the bed and did nothing else. Me and my brother were sleeping on the floor. So he was literally to my left, like his legs was to my left, and some of my friends were sleeping.
Oh, but the room is dark now.
The room is dark already, lah.
Everybody's sleeping already. So he just came in and then sat there.
And as he opened the door, some of us woke up and we were like, "The fuck is going on?"
Then,
and again, mind you, this is someone that is like the life of the room, you know. He's like the Joker of the room, you know.
Yeah.
He was just quiet.
Yeah.
So nothing happened. He just came, sit down, then he walked back to the room.
Whoa.
And then everyone was like, by the time he closed the door, everyone was like, "Yeah, that was that guy, right?" And it's like, yeah, that's our friend. Why did he not say anything? And then everyone was super lost.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, he was like, "Where were you guys last night?" So he either, number one, he sleepwalked, or number two, he got possessed, or number three, he just don't know what the hell was going on.
Oh no.
Yeah, because we told him that he came to the room and he was like, he don't remember. Yeah, he was like, "Where did you guys go?" I was like, "We were in the master bedroom." Yeah, so that's one of the stories that I still remember until today. It still gives me goosebumps lah.
It sounds scary. So you remember the face that you saw?
Right now, if I really want to remember, I still can remember.
Oh my God.
It's just like a old uncle face, you know.
That's distorted.
A bit distorted lah. It's a bit distorted lah. Then the owner, one of my friends, let's call her Anne, right? Anne said that because it's her family's house, she said that maybe it's her late grandfather. All right, because the late grandfather stays there also, and then maybe his spirit is there to kind of juggle the house lah, to take care of the house and all lah. So that's one theory. The second theory about my friend is maybe he was just sleepwalking, or maybe he was just, I don't know.
There's two layers to this story. See, the first layer is you saw something, right? That could be something, and the house is, you mentioned that the house is empty, like only three times a year they use it. And then one more thing is that Port Dickson, I don't know lah about Malaysians, but for Singaporeans, when we listen to Port Dickson, this name, we know that there is certain connotation to it. It's like how we...
What's the connotation?
Haunted lah. Like it's because it's a vacation place, so a lot of the houses are empty.
Empty most of the time, yeah.
And empty means, sometimes got hantu lah. Yeah. Then also it has kind of the same connotation to Genting. Because there's a similar story that I heard from my sister, her own experience about Port Dickson. So I'm not surprised that happened. And beachfront houses tend to have more yin energy because there's countless of ghosts inside the sea.
Yep.
So I just want to bring it back, like when you told your friend all this, right? Did they have any other experience like at that place?
No, only me.
You were the only one who kena.
I was the only one that saw it lah.
Were you a believer back then? Before that?
No.
Don't believe one
I not to say don't believe lah. It's like it's one of those superstition thing that you don't really talk about. If you believe, you believe. You don't believe, you don't believe lah. But you don't go out and say like, I want to go see. I want to go see. Right? It's if it comes lah. Right? But you, of course, for me, someone who is a scary cat, like I cannot take horror films. I don't like the supernatural stuff. Thriller, true crime, gory things like Saw, like the film and all. I can do, right? But when it comes to supernatural, I'm always the one behind the pillow, and I was like, oh my god, right? So yeah, my belief is like, I believe it's there. I believe there is like another realm, for example. But you don't go ask for trouble lah. Like how like during the Hungry Ghost Festival, people put like prayers and all. I mean, you don't go cari pasal with all those lah. You don't go take the food, go kick the shrine or anything, right? Or when you go to like a graveyard, you be respectful. Or when you're in a jungle, you also need to be respectful of the jungle spirits and everything. Don't make too much noise. Don't do stupid things. Don't simply throw things. Don't simply say things. So I believe in that to a certain extent lah.
But was that your very first brush with the supernatural?
I think so. It's the very first one that I can remember.
Oh my God.
that I can remember lah. That's why it's like so. It's like in my it's deep into my memories, ingrained. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
2 to 3 years ago is quite recent.
Yeah, it's fairly recent.
Let me share with you a story that we actually turned into a Ghost Maps episode.
Okay.
So it's from my sister. She
This was the one in Port Dickson I saw.
yes,
Okay.
a couple of years ago, she went on a short holiday with a bunch of friends, like about 10 of them. So they drove all the way up to Port Dickson and they stayed in this villa that was huge. Then the strange thing is that she told me that it was surrounded by other villas, but all looks dilapidated.
Abandoned.
Yeah, and forests. So you know how it's like a beachfront, right?
Yeah.
But they saw the photos, like, oh, very nice. But then it's not nowhere near beachfront. It's more nearer to the forest. So that was one thing. They were like, oh my God, this is creepy. And then when the Airbnb guy came and then opened for them, they realized that he was actually a Muslim man.
Okay.
And then the house had like some Muslim objects. So they already knew like, okay, this house is, under this owner lah. And then they told their friends, okay, don't eat pork. This is like an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
Don't eat pork in this house.
Out of respect lah.
Out of respect.
Yeah, out
don't
of
eat pork
respect.
in this house. And this house looks like it's mostly empty. So don't. It's quite a well-known thing. But then there was this guy who thought he was funny and then he just cooked pork lah in the place. And guess what happened to him? So long story short, he got possessed and he started like puking violently. And then his friend who sleep with him in the same room also got like disturbed by the spirits lah. The theory is that there is a guardian spirit that's protecting the house. Is not happy with them. Yeah. But my sister also experienced some stuff lah. Like she heard someone knocking on her room's door, and then she checked with everybody. Did you knock on my door next day?
No one did.
No, everybody is asleep already. 3 a.m. Everybody is asleep already. Yeah. So it is
creepy,
like
man.
it's like super well known lah. Like it's not as well known as Genting, but it's there lah.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
I just feel like there's always this Chinese superstition, when you go to a hotel room or you go to like a B&B or like a rented space, right? When you go, before you titit the card, right? You knock first.
Yeah.
You knock first and then you give your salam, say that, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
I still practice that, it's just like, when a place is abandoned long enough, you don't know what else moved in.
Yeah.
Right? Things that perhaps we can't see or we can't feel.
You're borrowing the space lah, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
You are just borrowing the space because you don't know what happened in between the time of like, person A and you, for example, rented the space for. Yeah.
Actually, I've traveled quite extensively in Southeast Asia, right? The knocking thing, right, exists everywhere.
I've
like the bellboy will try to go out with you, right, and then open for you. They will knock, bro. Like 9 or 10 times I've seen them knock.
Really?
Yeah, they knock. They're like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like if the bellboys are doing it right, and they're it's their 9 to 5 or they're like what fucking 24 hours in the hotel. If they're knocking, right, it means that it's either out of respect or it's a story passed down by other bellboys.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
Like I forgot to knock and then I went in and then I went home and then something happened.
Yeah,
right. Or
exactly.
like something kacau me or something follow me, for example.
Yeah. So, do you have any other experiences?
There is one more lah, but then it's not a personal experience.
Sure.
I actually have a couple more lah, but this one is more immediate to me. So after high school, I joined this event company and we did an entire road show from Penang all the way to Johor. Right. So the road show was me, 2 other colleagues of mine, and a lorry driver. Lorry. So it's a local Malaysian brand that sells Chinese herbal stuff. Okay, and this roadshow is basically you go into like a 10-ton truck, and then the truck basically opens up as a event deck. Right, people can go out, play games, people can go out and perform. So it was about a 6 weeks project from Penang all the way down to Johor. So Johor was our last stop. Right, Johor was our last stop, and from Penang all the way to Johor there was nothing. We just go, we do our job, done already. Then we go to a local motel, right? And motel, you sleep, you shower, you sleep. Next day you wake up in the morning, you do the same thing again, right? Last week, we went to, at the last week lah, we went to Johor. Like I told you before, I have family in Johor, right? So, okay lah. So when we were at Johor, usually me and the 2 colleagues and the lorry uncle sleep in the same hotel. Just nice that this time when we went to this hotel, it was almost fully booked already. So me and another friend of mine, me and him stayed in one room. The lorry uncle and the other colleague of ours stayed at another room at a different floor, right?
So 3 rooms?
2 rooms lah.
2 rooms.
2 rooms lah. So that night itself, I was like, I can't wait. My cousin was like, I'm at Johor already. Let's go drink, let's go eat lah. And okay, he came, picked me and the 2 other colleagues of mine. Then we went. Then the lorry uncle was he was the one driving all the way from Malacca to Johor. And because it's such a big truck, we can only drive slow. So he was so tired already. He's like, okay lah, he sleep lah. Then we were eating, we were drinking, we were chilling because it was the last day of the event already. So we celebrated a bit lah. Then we decided to just crash at my cousin's house, right? Then I called the uncle. I said, hey, uncle, tonight we are not going back to the hotel lah. So you just do what you want. We'll see you in the morning. He said, okay, no problem. Then the next morning, we went back to the hotel. Went back to our room, packed our stuff, shower. Then my friend called, hey, uncle not here lah. Then we're like, what do you mean uncle not here? I was like, his bags are not even here. But then his lorry is still downstairs. Then we're like, hey, where did uncle go? And I called uncle lah. Then I was like, hey, uncle, where you are? Oh, I'm at the hotel next door. I was like, why are you at the hotel next door? The company paid for this hotel already. And I talk to you later. I was like, okay lah. Checked out. And then I asked uncle, what happened? And he said that when he was sleeping, he was lying down. I still remember it's a very, very small room only. Just enough for like 2 beds and like a 2-bed attached toilet, and in the middle is the bedside table. Next to this bed is the curtain where you can see out already. He was like, as he was sleeping, his story lah, as he was sleeping, he saw a white figure looking at him at the corner of the room next to the curtain.
Wow.
Then he said that the thing was looking at him and the eyes was like red. All he did was he said the Quran prayers, closed his eyes, went to find the switch, on the switch, and he just walked out only. And after that, he talked to the reception. The people took the bags for him. Then he just checked in the other hotel.
Wow.
Yeah, that was his story. Because throughout the entire 6 weeks, I know he's not bullshitting because we slept together, we ate together and everything. So he's a solid guy. Just that this last time we came back to the hotel and he's not there. Bro, even his bags are not there. Right? So something really might have happened when we weren't there lah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was one lah. Yeah.
Later tell me the hotel name. I avoid.
I'll try to find somewhere in my email lah. This was a long time ago. I think about a decade ago already.
Oh my god. So going back to what he saw, is a female spirit lah.
I would like to think it's like a very general term for a Pontianak lor. Long hair, white, yeah.
Oh, he said long hair.
Long hair, white dress, and then red eye.
Was the hotel near any forest or surrounding?
No, it was those commercial place where it's like those shop lot motels lah.
Oh, shop lot motels.
Yeah, because it was an event space. They everything was one cheap.
Was it in like the central JB area or was it more like outskirts of JB?
It was in the central JB because I remember we were near the causeway. We were near the causeway, so it was somewhere. It was somewhere there lah.
I need know where.
I need to find the location again. I'll try to find the
super creepy. The way he said, but I like how like he's. I presume that he has some age lah. 50s, 60s.
He is. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, is either late 40s or early 50s lah.
Yeah. So because the way how he handled it, I pray. I act as if I don't care. I just leave.
Yeah.
Like if it's someone else, you will just.
Yeah, I mean, like what would you have done in that situation?
I would scream, bro.
Really?
Yeah lah. Scary.
I don't even know what I would do. I really don't even know what I would do.
Because if you don't do anything, it was approach you what?
Really?
Yeah. It's like it's like You know what I mean, right?
You know what I would do, right? It's like, since I'm already on the bed, right? I'll just put a pillow on my head only.
Yeah, but then imagine like you can hear it like just walking towards you. Then you hear the sound like then he just stand in front of you. Just wait for you, lor.
Then I wait for morning.
Oh, no, bro, it will start hurting you, man. It will possess you. It will do even worse thing to you. So what he did was actually the right thing. You
say a prayer. You say a prayer
to ward against it.
What if I leave and then it follows me?
Won't lah. I think he just wanted to get him out of the room lah. I think it's like trying to tell you.
Yeah, this is my space.
This is my space.
You're in my space.
Yeah, bro. My hair also stand. Yeah.
Why like this lah?
Yeah, you're very close to the one guest that made me actually scared. There was one guest that actually made me really, really scared. Like generally when I get guests on Dead Air, right, I'm okay one.
Yeah.
I'm not as scared as Wayne. But yeah, this one a bit creepy. Because the way I imagine how she's just standing there and just look, walao.
I mean, you can picture like from what he said, like, because again it's a small room.
I get
it's a small room, right?
That's the scary part.
Yeah, it's a small room, and then it's like, what can you do, right? You can't just fight it, right?
I mean, if you're strong enough, sure.
Spiritually strong,
not like physically doesn't help. Different realm, bro.
Yeah, different realm, man.
Oh, but that's really, really scary.
Yeah, that's one. And like I said, like, I know he's not bullshitting, because like, is that 1,000-yard stare that he has the next day, which is kind of freaky. Yeah.
So like when you because you do a lot of podcasts, right? You record a lot, shoot a lot over these past few years. Has anything weird or creepy happened? No, I'm not saying your house. I'm saying like just like weird things happen. Because we have. We have a lot.
Define weird.
Fourth voice.
Fuck. No,
like your producer is smiling, right? Like so you know how it works, right? Because you got three mics.
Yeah.
You got three sources of audio.
We
then there's
usually
a
have
fourth source that come in. Then you're like, where the hell is the voice coming in? It has happened to me quite a few times.
Like for us, okay, like right now in the camera, what you're seeing is just two mics, because there's the two of us, right? Usually what we have is like four.
Yeah.
Right? It's either a 4 mic setup or a 3 mic. So it's like co-host, host, co-host, and guest, right? Or like just host and guest lah. But we never had that issue before in post or anything.
That's very good.
Nor do I ever want to experience that lah. I mean, the only weirdest part I can think of happening is like when we were talking about my producer just put up a sign with the word saying yet, right? So the weirdest part, or like the most stupidest part that has happened, is like we were talking about something silly, and then the tube light just went off, and it was ngam a part where we were talking about something a bit scary. Yeah,
like
then
the battery died lah.
Yeah, battery died lah.
But
other than that, I don't think of anything yet.
Very, very hot.
Yeah.
That means it's a good thing.
It's Jigglypuff that protecting us. Jigglypuff is our protector.
Jigglypuff, yeah. So I think that's quite fortunate because
tell me about your experience.
Okay. Which one?
No, just the fourth voice one.
Okay, so
what happened?
So I had a studio before the landlord raised the rental like crazy. You know how Singapore gets, right?
Sure.
So I had a studio in this very famous office building called Golden Mile Tower.
Okay.
It's right next to Golden Mile Complex.
For a Malaysian, which region of Singapore is
Central.
that? Okay.
It's like the central area.
Okay.
But that place is known to be very haunted lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's cheap lah. So anyway, I recorded a podcast there. It's for a client lah.
Was it at night lah?
No, it was in the evening. It was in the late afternoon, so like 4 p.m. So I remember I was recording during the Hungry Ghost month.
Okay.
But it was a completely different. It was a corporate podcast. So they were in my studio. I was just like doing sound engineering. I was just recording. Then I was like, take out my headphone, put it back on. Take out, put it back on. And then I gave a like really weird face. Then the client was looking at everything okay or not? Because they can't talk. What?
Yeah.
I was like, everything okay? And I was like, no, it's okay. Then I isolated the channels. I was like, cannot be lah. I heard a fourth voice going like this.
Wait.
It's super creepy.
Wait.
And then I was like, okay, I get it now. It's 7 months. It's the Hungry Ghost month. Okay, I get it. You want to make your presence known, so I don't care. I don't care.
This is a true horror podcast, man.
Yeah, but it wasn't a horror podcast. It was a corporate podcast. Then the worst part is that I went home, I put the files inside. No such voice.
Maybe you were just imagining things lah.
No, bro.
Maybe you were just imagining
cannot,
things
bro, because I isolated the channels. And he was still there. You tell me how can I imagine this? So I went to solo the tracks.
It was just someone like just whispering.
It was like very distant. I mean, it could be the ghost that's just right behind me. I don't know.
Maybe one of the mic's gain was a bit off, or
I'm very confident that technically it was okay. Yeah. Then the weird thing is that because my studio back then, because in the central of Singapore, so there was this very near this very old mosque. Then shortly after we wrapped, when the mosque prayer happens, and then we just felt the vibe felt better. Yeah. Because the weird thing is that because my studio is a very small 200 square feet studio at that point, and we had like other sub tenants. The main tenant had some feng shui shit going on. In the facility, in the entrance. So I was at the back of his office. So I felt very safe. But I know that this level 11 is quite haunted because there is one unit at the end that's quite keras. Nobody wanted to rent it.
Oh,
like nobody.
Okay.
And it is really weird because it's a long corridor. Then you have your office, right? Left, right, have your office, right? Then at the other end, there's a big ass red door. Right at the end, there's the one unit. And right next to the unit is the bin center. So you throw the trash down the
Okay.
Nobody likes to go to the bin center. It's super damn creepy. And then the agent was asking, you want to not take lah? Then he was like, crazy rent, like cheap rent in Singapore is like super sus one. Yeah, then I did ask around lah. Apparently there's like some death lah inside that office.
Right,
so nobody wanted to take it.
Right,
I think to this day, nobody. So I'm thinking like maybe Hungry Ghost Man is amplified and
true lah.
I mean, Golden Mile Tower for HANTU, right, is very on brand lah, I would say. But
Golden
Mile Tower.
I just want to have a Golden Mile. M-A?
No. MILE. Golden
Mile Tower, Singapore.
Yeah.
I was like, Golden Mile Tower. Oh,
Yeah.
It looks old. It looks
very old.
seasoned.
It's very, very old.
This one?
1970s. This is complex. Tower is the other one. Tower is right next to it. Yeah. This one is...
This one?
Yeah. It's right next to it. Yeah.
It looks like a...
Bro, there's a lot of ghost stories there. There's a lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's one more that happened to me as well. So I think this was just as we were recovering from the pandemic. This was like 2021, but late 2021.
Okay.
And I have another friend who is my studio mate. So he's like the other office right next to mine. So we will always hang out for dinner. And after dinner, then we will go back and play a bit of Dota 2.
Okay.
Back then when I was still playing Dota. Then it was like 10. It was still also Hungry Ghost Man. Strangely enough, it happened both. Both of them happened in the same year.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, the toilet is outside, right next to the lift. So y'all go back. Y'all go and like load the game first. I go and do my business. And then I'm very used to this office already. But for normal people who comes to the office and then they use the toilet, this toilet looks like it's out of a Hong Kong horror film. It looks exactly like what you will watch.
Okay.
Then I'm so used to it, so I will go into the toilet and I'll use the last cubicle. There's 3 cubicles only. Then you have the urinals. So I was using the toilet. Then once I was done, I left the cubicle and I walked towards the wash basin. I did, of course lah. Okay. Then I wash. Then just as I open the door, then I hear hee right behind me. The toilet was empty, bro. Like empty.
What time was it?
10 p.m. Hungry Ghost Man. Then I was like, okay, I get it. Time to go. Then after I go, I pack. Then my friend, I thought you say you want to play. I go home and play with you. I'm going to play. Bye.
Oh, that is...
I mean, like, I think that's their way of saying hello lah. But, you know, they mean me no harm lah. So, I like to think of
that is creepy, man.
It's creepy.
It's been a while
when you're in Singapore, I'll bring you to that place.
I would actually... So, daytime, please.
Daytime. No, it's the weird thing because the whole stretch, right? The whole office building, right, is relatively cheap rent, like in general, to get us the office building in central Singapore. Relatively cheap, but it comes with a catch lah. Most of the office, by 6 they zao already. They leave. They see all the office worker leave, accountants, lawyers, they leave.
Okay.
Then we are the only ones that's there because we are creative. We're just chilling. We will sometimes chill, sometimes work on projects. Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I miss?
What?
I miss reading Singapore true ghost stories, man.
True Singapore ghost stories.
True Singapore true ghost. True Singapore. Yeah, true Singapore ghost stories.
Do you know that the Ghost Maps name is actually homage to that?
Really?
It's Ghost Maps True Southeast Asian Horror Stories. It's a whole homage to Russell Lee's book. Yeah.
Would you want to meet Russell Lee?
I want to meet him lah, but he don't want to meet me. Let's just put it as that.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to keep his identity very, very secret.
So here's a fun fact. I mean, it's a second-hand fun fact. Of course, it's my friend's fact. My friend Jeff, the guy who started the Seram podcast with me, he actually met Russell Lee once.
Without the mask?
No, with the mask. Because so the theory has been always going, right? Like, no one actually know who Russell Lee is.
Yeah.
And all the guest appearance or the stage appearance that he goes to is just some random Tom, Dick and Harry with his outfit. Because his face is always covered, right? So you never know. So Jeff went to a convention or something like that, and Ngam Russell Lee was there. So he got on stage and got an autograph. And that picture itself is featured in one of the covers in not the cover, the back cover of the True Singapore Ghost Story.
Which one?
Story. I don't know. I double check and then I let you know.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I remember in high school we had that conversation, and the Jeff was like, "Yeah, that's me." It's like, yeah.
Nice.
I miss Russell Lee's work because I grew up.
He's still writing though.
He is still writing.
Yeah, he
is still.
Yeah.
You should get him on your podcast, man.
I'm trying.
like you should really get him on your podcast.
I'm trying to get all the horror creators and creators on my shows, either Dead Air or Incredible Tales. I'm trying. So yeah, if you know anyone you want on the show, let us know. Then we'll try our best to get. Yeah, of course, must have ghost stories lah. Yeah, second hand also can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a curious question for you. Do you have any national service horror stories?
A lot.
Really, huh?
First day I kena already. I would say that I'm a bit more sensitive to the spiritual realm.
Okay. I'm assuming you have.
No, I don't have the third eye.
Okay.
But I have what people call the sixth sense. I can sense when a place is dirty, when a place is particularly in energy. More so these days because I've met a spiritual master that say, yeah, your life is you tend to sense them. Then I'm like, oh shit. But I mean, it is what it is. So the first day of national service, I remember I was on the top bunk, the highest level of the bunk, and then my bunk was closest to the toilet, which is like 1 minute walk.
It's always the toilet. Huh?
It's always the toilet. The toilet, the most keras one. So I just shaved my head, and I was like, I want to see my head botak. And all my bunkmates were either chilling around the corridor or like in the bunk. So there was nobody in the toilet.
Okay.
So I went to the toilet, and this was like 6 p.m. And I was washing my hands. And then at the corner of my eye, I can see one of the cubicle doors just open. And then close back.
It's the wind lah.
Bro, the window's closed. That's the thing. We just moved in as the whole company. So when there's a new batch of recruits, the whole company is usually empty. So we just moved in, like literally just moved in. The window's not even open yet. Where is the wind? And then I was like, you know what? Hi and goodbye. Open it up.
So creepy,
then I made sure that I never ever go to the toilet alone. And I was quite lucky I didn't kena anything after that. I was safe. I was fine. Yeah. But Tekong is the place that we serve national service. Pulau Tekong, right? It's very, very keras. It's super. There's a lot of standing rules. That you cannot bring in pork.
Oh wow.
If you get punished. If you get caught, you get punished.
Pork
products.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Luncheon meat. You can't.
Cannot.
You get punished. And worst case, you get possessed or like kena something. My friend's company was even better. Because our company, we go by like mythical creatures and animals, right?
Okay.
So his company is called Griffin, Gia.
Yeah.
His company's building is quite old. Every level of that company, every level end to end had a deity, a statue of a deity. I think it was Tope Gong or like Guan Yu Gong, like just every level.
Probably,
to protect
yeah.
that level. And then he says people still getting possessed.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cliche in the horror scene in Singapore, to talk about army stories because it's such a low-hanging fruit. But it's at the same time, it is something that almost everyone go through. So, yeah. But I mean, it's creepy. It's very nice in the day because it's like an island.
Yeah, but once
at night,
nightfall.
At night, bro, it's different. It's really different.
What are some rules for national service?
National service, I think the standard is when you're in the forest, you don't pee anywhere.
Yeah.
You must say, excuse me. I think that's quite universal, right? Even in Malaysia, right?
Yeah, definitely. Even in public spaces also, like when we were kids.
Try to be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use vulgarities when you're in the forest. But it's quite unavoidable because your sergeant will be cussing you out because you're slow. I think in general it's all about respect All respect. I will try my best not to sleep alone in the bunk because sometimes no choice because you get punished, you sign extra, everybody gets to go home, you don't get to go home, right? Then you're that one unlucky fuck that is in the bunk alone. Oh, that's when you shag. Imagine the whole bunk empty one. The whole floor empty, only you, one person.
Wait.
Then you sleep alone in the bunk, in your room. That's scary, right?
That is scary, man. I don't even want to think about that. Like, how big is a bunk? Like, how many people can a bunk fit?
20.
Oh yeah, no thank you, man. No thank you.
Up down bunk, bro. Imagine you sleep alone, right? Then you wake up, right? Then got leg like hanging. That's some of the stories I heard. I was like, whoa, bro, relax. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I guess like the training in the supernatural, right, during the national service also helps you develop your character.
Yeah. Because in Malaysia also there's a lot of very interesting national service story when it was still around when national service was still a thing. Like my cousin, he was based in Sabah.
Ooh.
He was based in Sabah and he said like you guys they also stay in bunks, right? Or like different buildings, and they say at night you can hear people marching on.
Oh, normal.
Yeah, he said that the whole group can not just one person here, the whole group can hear people marching when there's no march schedule at all, right? Because the camp that they were in was previously, if I'm not mistaken, is a Japanese base.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Japanese base back in the Second World War, and then other stories are like one of his batchmate girlfriend passed away, and he saw her in the jungle, calling him to go into the jungle.
Oh, no.
So he was like I would say half possessed. At night.
He was in the days lah.
Yeah, so he was walking towards. Then all the friends that pull him lah. He said, "Oh my god, again." Then he said like it took about 8 people to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took about 8
definitely
people
possessed
to stop him. Then all he was saying is like, "I need to go to her. I need to go to her." And I was like, "Yeah." Then they were saying, "Who's her?" "My girlfriend." It's like, "Bro, your girlfriend died."
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. So that's another story lah. My cousin told me, because I asked him the same question I asked you. What was any supernatural story you had during NS? And a lot of people have scary NS stories.
Yeah. But I mean like there's an advice lah. Like they are still ultimately spirits. They were still once human. That's still relatively demonic presence are next level. So because we are armed when we go out in the jungle, right? Usually with live rounds. So they are afraid of the guns actually.
The demons?
No.
The
spirits. Because it's what can take a life one. So they are generally this is like a
okay.
like a old wives' tale lah. They are scared of guns because it can kill. So therefore, even as spirits, you have that, right? It's a form of protection already. And then there are rumors that because when you're out of training from the basic military training, after your 3 months, right, you get assigned to a unit. So then you go to various camps in Singapore, right? Then you have the crest that's of your camp lah. That crest apparently is blessed by several major religions in Singapore. So it can protect you. The beret can protect you from possession and any evil spirits that's around, because a lot of the camps in Singapore, like Malaysia, went through World War II. In fact, went through colonialism. So there is a lot of history there, a lot of deaths,
a lot of blood spilled on the grounds lah. A lot
way
of blood
too
spilled,
many. Yeah. Before we ask you the ultimate question that we ask all our guests, I just want to tell you one scary story to spoil you from Sentosa.
Sentosa Island, yeah, okay,
Sentosa Island.
Of course.
Sentosa used to be called Pulau Belakang Mati, the island of death, the back island of death, right? That's loosely translated.
What a name, man.
Yeah, because
Pulau Belakang Mati.
There was a bubonic plague.
Okay,
Way back in the day in Singapore. So they that's where they send all the people there.
Right,
so
okay.
That's
the quarantine zone lah, basically.
That's the first thing. Then the Japanese invasion happened, and then battle was ensued in Sentosa. So a lot of people died. So the scary thing is that there was this taxi uncle that was fetching someone to leave Sentosa Island, and it's late night lah. Then right, he drove to a certain area and then he stopped. No cars like it's like a small junction. Then it's one of those ulu roads lah, with barely any lights. And this was like maybe in the early 2000s. And then the person was like, "Uncle, why you stop?" He say, "Wait, later I tell you." Then as they were driving out of Sentosa, then he told the person there was an entire regiment of Japanese soldiers marching, and they were staring at us. They were marching across. I can see
the road, is it?
Yeah, entire regiment of dead Japanese soldiers,
What?
the spirits marching, and I can see them. They were staring at me, and then that's why he stopped lah. He's scared one.
What?
Yeah. Sorry guys if I spoil you for Sentosa.
I never knew Sentosa was actually like a haunted, or like Pulau Belakang Mati lah.
That's the original name lah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I spoiled it for the STB. They're gonna hate me. So, this is a question that I ask. It's a two-part question. This is a question that I ask every of our guests. What are some of your favorite horror movies, novels, or comics, or anything that's related to horror? I know you're not a big fan of horror.
Yeah.
But horror is such a...
When you talk about horror, is horror comedy an option?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't shame.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale is like Evil Dead lah.
It is like Evil. Okay, it's Tucker and Dale versus Evil is one of my favorite shows of all time. It's a horror
Well, I'm not seeing it. The poster looks like
if you are
super trash. So I love the poster, man.
Like think of college horror, like spring break or summer break horror, right? A bunch of city kids went to like the redneck state because the redneck state because they have a vacation home there, and then they go to the vacation home, and then shit happens. I won't spoil it for you, but if you're down for like a good time, just you want a easy night and you want to pick a random film, this is the random film.
Is it horror in terms of supernatural or slasher?
Slasher.
It's one of those.
Yeah. But if you're talking about like supernatural, give me anything James Wan.
But I thought you said you're scared.
Like I say, I am scared. As long as there's a pillow in front of me, or someone's blocking my view, I'm completely fine. Okay. One thing I enjoy is like, okay, I am the type of person that when I am in pain, when I am going through something very tragic, and if I'm very scared, I'll laugh.
Wow.
Okay. So for example, when my grandmother passed away, we in Chinese tradition will do the prayers, right? Yeah, I made everyone laugh during the funeral. So it's my form of like, coping.
Yeah, it's a mechanism lah.
Same goes for when I get super scared when there's a jump scare.
You make jokes.
I make jokes, right? But then my favorite part of like a horror movie It's like when the CGI or the jump scare is so terrible that you end up laughing instead of being scared. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anything James Bond is fine.
Which one is your favorite?
I don't like the prequels. I like the original. Like let's just say Annabelle, for example, or The Conjuring, for example. Like Conjuring 1, 2, okay. Annabelle 1, 2, okay. But then the further they go, I feel like it kind of stray away. Like they have lost the magic.
Lost their way.
Yeah, they really have lost their way.
They try too much to be like MCU, right?
Yeah, right. It's like I don't know what's the term for it, but it's the Conjuring universe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right. The first few was amazing. You know, like Annabelle. Which one was the nun when she appeared first time? I remember
Conjuring 2.
Conjuring 2, is it like the nun? Yeah. Like when
Valak.
all of those Valak, when all of those came out, everyone was so fresh to all this horror film, like James Wan's flavor of horror, and then it just kind of like lost its charm lah. Yeah, it became more of a horror comedy than horror.
I think it's a trend, you know. A lot of people who like James Wan films and they come on the show and then they tell us, oh, we like Conjuring 1 and 2. It's like a trend. Anything after that,
Yeah. You know what's the scariest James Wan film?
What?
Aquaman.
I did not see that coming.
Aquaman was the scariest, man.
Did you find the Easter egg?
No.
He put an Easter egg inside.
I never knew.
From his, I think it was Saw.
Oh, no. I
think he put Jigsaw inside. Somehow.
Okay.
In one of the shots in Aquaman.
Okay, yeah.
It is what it is.
But yeah, that's by far his scariest film because it's so bad. Yeah.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, I'm going to ask you one question that we ask all our creators. What are you afraid of the most? Now it can be anything.
There's two things. There's two things.
Two things. Okay.
Two things.
Okay.
Number one is darkness. Like by darkness, I mean like pure darkness. Like you cannot see.
Okay.
Number two, my biggest fear of all time, cockroaches.
Like how afraid of cockroaches are you?
Like high pitched scream kind of.
Like if there was one there.
I was showering with someone and then there was a cockroach. Then I was so afraid I just ran out the toilet naked and I just pushed her aside. and then she was like, she killed the cockroach in the end. She killed the cockroach and then she was like, you just left me to die.
But it's a cockroach though.
I don't like cockroaches.
I get it, but it's a cockroach though.
I have like, cockroaches is my biggest fear. Like my phobia is cockroaches. Spiders can, tarantulas can. Because my brother have tarantulas upstairs. Just FYI, one's missing. We don't know where it went.
Seriously?
Seriously. Because my brother's girlfriend stays over on the weekend. And then she was like, Kel, do you see Bubbles? Bubbles is the name of the tarantula. Do you see Bubbles? I was like, no, why? Because Bubbles is not in his cage anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was a while ago. We still don't know where Bubbles went. But yeah, that's a fun fact.
Yeah, so I feel the same way for lizards. Chicas.
Small ones?
Small ones, yes.
Wait, Dixon, you also?
Like, absolutely terrified. Wayne and I, that's why we're business partners, we both hate them so much. It's so scary. Like,
you want to see my lizard collection?
No.
I don't have a lizard collection.
He's trying to scare me.
Yeah. Because
Oh.
no one will say, hey bro, you want to see my cockroach collection?
Yeah.
Right?
But like, afraid of the dark for you is like, if you go dining in the dark to experience what it's like to eat when you have visual impairment, will you be freaking out then?
I can't say that because I've never experienced it, and I've never experienced it because I'm afraid of the dark.
Like really afraid of the dark?
It's a traumatic event when I was a lot younger. So now it's like I don't like the dark. Like even when I'm at home, I like the lights on.
So you sleep with the lights on also?
I sleep with, okay, so I have this I call it the tap duck. Okay, it's like this toy duck light that has like a touch function one. Like when you tap it, it's like dim light. You tap it again, it's like medium light, and then you tap it again, it's bright light. So I call it tap duck, right? And it's USB charged also. It's like those LED lights with a very cute duck lah. What the producer is saying, night light. Right? I call it the tap duck.
I think tap duck
right?
sounds cute.
Duck, right? So the tap duck has three options. Okay, off, on, and 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I just put it to 30 minutes. Let's just put it this way. I don't like to sleep in the dark to the point that when I sleep, my computer is always on and I have like a podcast going or I have a YouTube show going at like 10% volume.
So like white noise lah.
Yeah, but you want to know the ironic part of it?
What?
Sometimes when I sleep to horror podcasts. It's redundant, right? It's bloody ironic, right? But yeah. As long as like for me, as long as there's a white noise, I'm completely okay. Yeah, and it helps also because when I sleep, the monitor light is kind of like lighting up the room to a certain point, right? So it's like not pure darkness. I can't do pure darkness and I can't do pure silence.
The silence part I understand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, darkness I just can't.
But that's good. Yeah, okay, so darkness and cockroach.
Yeah, if you put 2 and 2 together, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, later he you break him.
Yeah, you'll break me. Yeah.
Yeah, but thanks so much for coming on to our show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So like now is your time to plug.
All right.
Where can they find you?
All right. If you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Kelvin Koiwai, Koiwai. Or if you want to learn more of what Renegade Radio does, you can go on Instagram at RRP Malaysia. That's where you can find my company and the podcast that we represent and the podcast we create. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
That's it for this episode.
You should say thanks for coming on the show, and I say thanks for using my studio. Yeah, thanks for using my studio. Yeah,
thanks for coming on my show.
Thanks for using my studio.
And 3, 2, 1. Remember, just because they are stories, it doesn't mean they are not true. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If you want to stay up to date on HANTU or listen to our other podcasts like Ghost Maps, subscribe now and follow us on social media. You can also be one of our supporters on Patreon. Look for We Are HANTU or click the links in the description. Dead Air is a HANTU production, hosted by Kyle Ong and Wayne Ray, with album art by Jolene Lim.